Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Bison Workshop. I'm Bob. And we're just messing around here in the office and thought I would show you what we're doing with the Challenger. Uh, we're going to discuss the 3D printing part. Right now, I'm printing out a test piece at 20% infill. And even at 20% infill, it takes a day and a half, something like that. So we don't know if this one's going to work. This is just a trial run. So this is just one idea. Now I'll show you the print here in a minute, but right now we're working on the grips, and I think I'm gonna go with the green with a flake in it, and all it is fingernail polish. I don't even know what color it is. Probably says it right there on top. But anyway, I got another coat to put on it, maybe two, I don't know. We're trying to get it so it looks like you just laid glass in it, each one of them holes. So we got a couple more coats to put on it. But anyway, we've got the Challenger tore apart, and we've got all this back together, and I did put a thread protector on it, which is actually the caboose, and this is the very first caboose that actually has a set screw on each side. And then I put a barrel band on the end of it just to support the barrel. And then I've got one of my clip holders, or mag holder, and these actually are very close to fitting the 30 cal. It sticks out a little bit, but it'll wear in eventually. So, but it'll go in there. I gotta file some more in the inside of it, but that's what you have to do to make them work. So we're getting there. And now we're working on this piece right here, because we have to have a way to mount this, and we have to have a way to mount this. So what I've done is went in the 3D CAD program and designed a block that's going to go and cover all this and be able to mount all this stuff to it, and the grip. So we're hoping this works out okay, but let's get to the 3D print and show you what we got. Alright, so here's what we've got. We've got all the pieces made and ready to put in the CAD, or in the SD card, to put it in the printer. But before I print this, I want to make sure that test piece works, because this is the most important piece. So let's start with that. Let's flip that so you guys can get a good look at it. So what we've done is cut the cavity out inside to match the inside of the stock. And we're hoping all of our measurements are correct. I allowed for mishaps in some places. I added a chamfer right here, and then I've got 4, let me get it around here. Sometimes this thing's hard to maneuver and get things where you want it. So inside here, I put 4 hex cavities. Those are going to hold the hex nuts that I'm going to put in there, because we're not going to rely on this plastic for threading for a buttstock. We're going to use the nuts and they'll press in that spot. So basically what I'll have to do is take my bolt, run it through, put my nut on it, clamp it down, and then take an Allen wrench and tighten it down, and it will pull that nut in this hole. So then I've got a cavity right here for the bolt that's going to hold the trigger guard. And then we've got another one back here for the front part of the trigger guard, and then we got the trigger and the safety hole. Alright, so basically I just went and cut this chamfer right here. Well, that didn't help. Cut that chamfer there so I could get in there, get my finger in there for the nuts. To get them squeezed in there. Alright, so this should fit everything pretty good as long as I got my measurements right. And then I just kind of chamfered all the corners. And we're going to do a design on the side. I haven't decided yet what I want to put on it. We went with the webbing or honeycomb on the hand grips. And forgive my 3D printers if it's overriding my sound. I can't help it. So then we have, let's get turned around here. We have these 4 holes that's going through where the nuts will be pressed in. Now what this is for this piece and this piece. So let's start with this piece right here. So we're going to turn that, then we're going to turn it again in the right direction. And you notice that we have a hole right here on the bottom. Well, that's going to have a bolt that goes down through it. So basically this part is going to go right there. Alright, so then, and this thing is hard to zoom in when you ain't got it dropped to the floor. So let me drop that to the floor and move some of this stuff out of the way because I'm getting all cluttered here. So we've already seen the inside of it, so we don't need to see the inside of it no more. So let me move this around so that we can get a look at what we're doing. And then we're going to drop both of them to the floor. Alright, now we'll grab both of them and bring them over here and light it where we're going to be. So what this is going to do, it's going to go right up in there, and it's got a cradle inside of it, as you can see here on the end. You see the cradle, and this has got a place that goes down in that cradle. Alright, and then that bolt will go down through this piece into the part that's going to hold the hand grips. Alright, so then I've got matching holes on the back side of it that correspond with those holes, and then that piece will get sandwiched in between this and this. Alright, so then this piece will go on here, and those holes correspond Let me change the color of that a little bit. Kind of hard to see them, ain't they? Alright, so then this piece will bolt. Better not be messing that up. This piece will go right here, and this is what is going to mount the buttstock. Remember, it's going to have 4 bolts in it, and then 1 center bolt, which I haven't done yet. Alright, so then we've got a way for the buttstock to mount, and it's got the cross slide here in it so that it won't turn. Alright, so then I made this piece, and I'm not going to do a lot of maneuvering this around. You're just going to have to get the idea that this here goes into, slides on that right there, and then that bolt will go down through it. This will bolt to this. This L bracket will bolt to this before we put this onto the breech piece. So, and then we've got our hand grips. So those will screw to the side of this, and I've already got a hole pre-drilled in it. So these, once I get it adjusted, then, you know, on the printer and get it to where it's right, it may take several prints, it may take one, I might get lucky, I don't know. But there you have it, the plan for the Challenger stock. And yes, if things go well, I may make these and sell them. But I want to test them out on my gun first to make sure that they're solid, they're not going to break it easily. You know, you got to keep all that stuff in mind. So we're going to put some kind of a design on the side of the block. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I can do something on it. Got to be West Virginia or Bison-y. So I know I'm going to put my logo in it somewhere. And I may even put my logo, and it won't be the complete logo, it'll just be the bull and the circle. It ain't gonna have, it's gonna be too small for words. So I might put that on it somewhere, and then just put Bison somewhere on it. But I gotta put on it somewhere what it fits, so that if I make them for another gun, I don't get them confused if they look similar. So I'm going to put 30 caliber or AEH 30 caliber on it. I'm going to put Bison logo on it and maybe some kind of design. So we want to try to make it all work together. So hopefully it'll work out and it'll be pretty sharp. So I don't know if I'm going to stick with the fingernail polish in the holes. I'm going to see how it looks if I put another coat, if it kind of flows out. If it flows and makes a nice bottom in it, what I need to do is get me a eyedropper and suck the paint up in it and just put a drop and let it flow. I think that would be the better way to go, but it's kind of hard to do that on the ones that are open, because it's chamfered down and on the end it overlaps the outside of it. So I'm going to sand them after I get them painted inside of them. So once I get the green the way I like it, and it's it's actually starting to look pretty decent, but it just needs one more coat, a heavier coat, so it will flow out nicer and get an even color. And I think that's a pretty sweet looking color. Uh, so we'll see. And then once I got the paint done, then I'm gonna sand the outside of it, make it nice and even and smooth, and give it that sandblasted look. That'll look pretty sharp, and that'll mount on that plastic piece. So we'll see how this works out. I may go with something else. For some reason I can't find my skull plates that I make, the ones I made for the Avenger, but I really don't want to use the same theme on this one as I did on the Avenger, so I kind of want to change it up. I could do basket weave, I guess. I don't know if I can find some a pattern of basket weave, because I sure don't want to make it. Basket weave would be hard to make, I'm sure. It's just a bunch of waves, and then you got to intertwine them. That would be a mess to make on that 3D CAD. But anyway, I wanted to show you that, and I think it's going to look pretty sharp. I want at least one gun that looks tactical. So the Challenger 30 is probably the best caliber to use for tactical. 25 would be too small. 357 is kind of overkill. So I think the 30 caliber is a good in-between number. So we're going to turn it into our tactical, and it's going to have a folding stock on it too. So that's the one. Both of those pieces, the buttstock and the forearm grip, ashamed to say, came from a Cattleman gun. At least something good came out of Cattleman. My Challenger got a makeover. Anyway, this one here is a pretty nice one. I've got a set screw in there that I added to this. It didn't have one, so now I can lock it and it don't rattle. So there's no rattle in this whatsoever, and it's got a pretty decent hinge on it. So now I got to work on that part right there to get it to recess in that round piece, and then I got to put a thread hole in it. That's going to have to be threaded through the plastic. That's the way it was before with the original block, because it's plastic also. So mine's a little bit heavier and tighter threads. So this is how it was originally, and that round piece and the L bracket mimics this. So anyway, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to have your Trump coffee. You guys have a good one. Later.